Alright guys, new tier list video coming in. This is for the current state of classes, plus I'm going to be referencing some of the new skills. If you guys haven't seen my new mystery skill video, go watch that please. But anyways, let's get into it. So first things first, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Priest is S tier. Their heals will always be S tier because they're the only true healer. And Beta Light is an irreplaceable skill. And then on top of that, they just got a PvE buff for solo content, so their solo content is now easier to do. Um, but Priest is an easy S tier class. Now moving on to DPS, the first DPS I'm going to put in S tier is Frostweaver. The reason I have Frostweaver in S tier is because it has a good PvE kit still, high transform damage, good non-transform damage with the new skill coming. S tier mech skill, they still have the best PvP mech skill in my opinion. I don't think anyone others compares. They're both able to use both the dragon and the mech. High coercion from Awakened Tree, and overall Frost is a good class with a bunch of CC. So Frost is going to be still S tier after this update. Now, the next S tier class right now I think is Berserker. Now, what makes Berserker S tier is the fact that the new skill drops your HP to 30%. What this means that in PvP, people will be losing their high HP damage bonus against you, as well as in PvE, since you're going down to 30% or lower HP, you are now able to chain your 30% pearls, which means that if you're someone who willed Storm Raccoon Pearl, you have a higher advantage because you basically can guarantee getting a second transform every single dungeon, because every 15 seconds your HP is dropping 30%. This skill also gives immune, which you get PvP and PvE. So overall, Zerk is definitely up there, but Zerk is definitely one of those classes. I'd break it more like an S minus, because the 30% HP Pearl is really kind of what carries it hard, but it's still definitely top tier overall. And then A tier, we've got Kensei. Kensei is the only A tier DPS class in my personal opinion. Kensei right now feels very good. It has survivability with what's it called? Twin Dragon. They have Dance Blade for immune, plus good damage, plus debuff. Bato I don't really like as a skill, but it's still for charging the Stigma right now. I think it'll be replaced if they ever add more Stigma charging skills. The new skill for damage to boss is also really good. Wind Shave is like a everything in one PvE skill, damage to boss, transform damage bonus, and a more transform damage bonus somehow. But um, Wind Shave is really good. And I think Wind Shave also gives a damage increase as well from the Coercion passive, but Wind Shave is like an all-in-one PvE skill, so Kensei is definitely A tier in my opinion. The PvP kit has always been solid. It's just been a little bit harder to use and more niche, but PvE damage has always weighed it down heavily, but now I'd say that Kensei is definitely where it belongs in the A tier. Now for B tier, some people may not agree with me on this one. Pyromancer is B tier. I'm not going to speak on Pyromancer too heavily, but Pyro's the two new mystery skills both kind of suck for Pyro. Cast time sucks, and the other one is like a budget fairy arrow, which also sucks. Their transform damage is replicable by other classes now, including the fact that in PvP, why would you play Pyromancer when you could just play Frostweaver? So Pyromancer has kind of lost its place in my opinion. Um, but Pyromancer is still like an easy class for people who don't really want to do any work or put any effort into other classes. But overall, I don't think Pyromancer is that good right now. Next B tier class is Summoner. Summoner is something that I talked about a lot over the last few months because I've been playing Summoner as a main class. Um, the reason Summoner has dropped so significantly is the same, kind of like the same reason as Pyromancer. Both of their new mystery skills suck, and the mystery skills have a very high damage percent. Like their mystery skills are basically stronger than all other skills, besides a few. So when you're playing against a class with two mystery skills versus you have none, you're kind of just like they got buffed, but you didn't really get too much of a buff. The 30% damage to boss increase from Sundial is also good, but again, it's not enough to carry Summoner with their kind of lackluster kit overall. Summoner Dragon is completely unusable in my personal opinion. I don't think it's good at all. Summoner Mech is obviously top tier, like an SSS tier mech, but only for PvE. The Immortal Cat can be useful in PvP, but I don't like how it roots you when you use the skill. The summon will get fixed in the future, I fully believe so, but still, meh. And then the next mystery skill is going to be a Merge, which I'm not really a big fan of Merge, so yeah. Summoner is going to be in the B tier. It's a solid B tier class, but it has a lot of weaknesses right now. Plus, it's like the most bug class in the game, but it just won't fix, but you know, whatever. Um, Asura is up next. Asura's definitely got buffed, like all melee classes with the extra coercion and stuff, and the damage to boss from the new skill. But honestly, Asura just doesn't feel as fluid as Kensei, or have any as many advantages like the Pearl bonus with Zerk. It's just like a PVE hit class. The transform damage did increase, but I don't think that the transform damage increased enough to really make too much of an impact, in my opinion. So yeah, Asta's gonna be B tier. It's definitely not a bad class. I just feel like on other classes I have more value in PvP while also replicating the damage in PvE. Because the thing is, a lot of these classes are very close in the PvE damage now, which makes PvP being enjoyable a large portion of the game. Because PvP should also be enjoyable while also enjoying PvE, and doing good PvE damage. So that also brings Asura down because their PvP is garbage. So yeah, Asura is gonna be a B tier class for me. Now, C tier, we're going to have two classes in C tier. First is Ranger. Ranger is a jack of all trades, master. I've not talked about this multiple times. I'm not sitting here just going to hate on Ranger today. I'm going to be objective. Ranger is definitely in a good spot damage-wise. However, the transform damage from what I tested and experienced was lacking, so towards compared to other classes still. While also their mech is good, but their dragon is still more support oriented, which also means that they can't really use their dragon for damage, but they can use their dragon for healing. But their healing isn't that good because why would you have a ranger healing when you have a priest healing? So ranger is going to be a C tier class. Plus in PvP, ranger takes the priest spot, and priest is better in every single way than ranger is. So rangers also, second mystery skills also isn't that bad though. So damage wise, non-transform they're pretty solid. Transform damage they're solid, but not like one of the best I would say. But Rangers overall just C tier because C tier is like average, I guess I'd say. Like I think B tier is more average in this tier list, but they're pretty average class overall. Just like they're good in all areas, but don't excel in any areas. Again, then the next C tier class I have is Paladin. Paladin is more niche than Paladin has more uses than the other classes. The other classes feel kind of like garbage. Paladin's PvP is always going to be good. I will never disrespect Paladin's PvP, but their PvE, if you're like an Ice Paladin, you don't really get that much of a buff because the buff is based off of like wind for some reason. So the PvE buff didn't really do too much, but I mean it does do a lot. I get it does a lot, but it doesn't do too much if that makes sense. It's hard for me to explain, but yeah, so that's Paladin and C tier, and then D tier. I'm just gonna put Ninja and Twin Star. Twin Star, honestly, I would rather leave it unranked because it's Twin Star. If you main Twin Star, I just don't think you should be maining Twin Star in general. But Ninja just feels horrible. No matter what, it just feels horrible. I think Ninja's just garbage. Like personally, I think Ninja's garbage. But this is my PVE tier, not PVE. I don't know why I keep saying that. This is my overall class tier list. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. But yeah, if you guys don't agree, that's perfectly fine. You're entitled to your own opinion. This is just my opinion, but thank you for watching.